Don't play with her, don't be dishonest. Ay. Still not understanding this logic. Hey, I'm back and I'm better. I want you back.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm really excited to do this video for you today. I'm so sorry I haven't done a video in forever, but I saw these new Fenty products come out and people have been like losing their mind over them for great reason, and I just really wanted to make sure that I talked to you about the product line, the ingredients in it, how to use it. So stay tuned to learn all the great tips and tricks about what to do with the new Fenty products and what might work best for you and what I loved, what I didn't love. Most of it I loved. Also, make sure and subscribe to my channel. Let me know what videos you want to see in the future, and you guys have an awesome day. But let's go ahead and just get into the application. Don't you want a Fenty Fenty? Don't you want a Fenty Fenty? I'm corny, I know, but if that song hasn't been in your head with this too, then I don't know what has. So Rihanna actually has a special Fenty face that she has coined for the application technique of these products. She actually has a primer that she recommends using first that is a little bit more of a matte finish. Then you want to apply the foundation. Next, she recommends going in and contouring and concealing. Then she recommends going in with her Killawatt highlighters, which let me tell you, these are to die for. So it's probably my favorite product in her line. The very last step of her line is to add her Invisimatte blotting powder, which is a translucent pressed powder that works on any skin tone. There's no flashback, but she just believes the key to having really nice, luminous, perfect skin is to start off actually with more of a matte foundation and then just go in and add highlight where you want it and then mattify where you're still seeing shine. So that being said, the Fenty face was actually not the best application technique for my skin because I do lean on like a really dry skin type. So I really wasn't a fan of the super matte finish with it. The first time I applied it, I actually hated it, and I'm sorry for saying that, but I was applying it wrong, and I just needed to find the perfect mix of products to blend in with it. So I'm gonna go over what you should use if you are more of a dry skin type, so you can still use the Fenty Beauty products and get a really, really beautiful finish and wear. And as I'm doing that, I'm gonna go over some of the ingredients and everything too. So I hope you guys enjoy. So first things first, I'm going to start off with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. And it's actually a primerizer, which kudos to the name, it's just fun to say. But it's basically like a mix of your moisturizer and your primer in one. And this is packed with hyaluronic acid, so that's actually just going to help bind hydration to your skin. And you want to use this all over. It's going to help the foundation stay on longer, look a little bit smoother. For me specifically, it's really helping hydrate and plump the skin so that when I go in with the matte foundation, I'm going to get the finish that I want, and it's not going to look too dry or cakey in any areas. So I just blend that all over. I do bring it nicely like right underneath my eyes too to really hydrate there. And I do feel like fingertip application with your primer is the best application for this too. Alright, it's nice and primed. So then the next step that we want to do is we want to go in and actually add the foundation. So I am using the Fenty Beauty foundation in number 150. So 150 was described as a good color for people who have a light skin color with neutral undertones. So that's perfect for me. I actually have a little bit more of a pink undertone to my skin, but I do like to gear more towards neutral shades because I like to neutralize the redness in the skin. I don't like to bring it out. So I like to start right in the center of the face with the Beauty Blender. The first time I went in to apply this, I used a brush and a buffing motion, and it was basically a nightmare. It didn't apply evenly. It broke up all over on the skin. I honestly absolutely hated it. But then I realized I was just applying it wrong. So this foundation does have a super fast dry down time. It also tends to dry down just a little bit darker than what it looks like initially. So if you're kind of deciding between two shades, pick the lighter one. You can always warm it up with contour or bronzer. And start in one part of the face and just work your way out, and you will love the way that it looks. If you do prefer using a brush, you can take it and stipple it onto the skin. I will say Rihanna did come out with some absolutely amazing brushes for her line. They're really, really super soft and easy to work with. You just want to stipple and kind of work outward. You never want to buff. And then she also has a beauty sponge that you can dampen to apply the products with too. But with this foundation, it is a medium to full coverage that's buildable, and it is oil-free. Her whole line is cruelty-free, which is awesome. And with her foundations, she wanted to come out with a line that had an all-inclusive shade match for everybody. So she's got 40 different shades and a ton of different undertones. This foundation actually claims to be sweat and humidity resistant, so it's going to be a super, super long wear for you. You don't actually have to set it with a powder if you don't want to. And then I just want to go over ingredients in the foundation. So I always look at the first ingredients on the products and then the last ingredients. So they are listed by concentration until you get to 1%. And when they're 1%, they can kind of toggle them up to keep their, their formula somewhat secret. So in the last ingredients of her foundation, she has a little bit of papaya and pineapple extract in there, which is exfoliating. But to be honest, it is probably in there in such small concentrations that it doesn't really make that much of a difference for you. It is almost last on the list. So I would definitely make sure you're still using other exfoliating products. For the first few ingredients, she actually has talc, dimethicone, water, and then isododecane. If you've paid attention to any newer products that claim to be like water resistant, long wearing, all of that, like the lip stains that are all day wear, they all have that isododecane in there. It's also in the new All Nighter foundation from Urban Decay. So I would say the biggest difference is that Rihanna's foundation has a little bit more matte finish than the All Nighter even does, and it's actually not quite as thick as the All Nighter, which I like. Like I said, I did find I had to use a sponge in order to get the perfect application, and I did have to use a more hydrating primer in order to get the look and the feel that I wanted with it, but it does wear really, really well. So that is how you apply the foundation. Those are the ingredients in there that are going to really help with the wear for you and absorbing the excess oil. At this point, you would want to add in the concealer sticks that Rihanna has. I've actually been like in love with this NARS concealer. It is their matte, soft matte complete concealer, and I am using the vanilla. And I love to take this just fingertip application and just dot it right on the inner corner of my eyes here. I find because it has a little bit more of a matte finish, it really smooths the skin there. It doesn't look very, shiny. It doesn't pull out any fine lines. It's super, super easy to work with. And I do have a tendency to get a blemish here and there too, so it can double over as an under eye concealer and one that I can use anywhere on the face. And I love that because anything to make my routine faster and easier, I'm definitely in for. But as you can see, the foundation really gave an awesome coverage all on its own, so I don't need a ton of concealer. I'm just going to put it in those areas that tend to get, a little redness throughout the day. And you could use Beauty Blender or a sponge for this too. I just like using my God-given brushes. All right, beautiful. So that is the foundation on its own. And let me tell you, I actually would feel completely comfortable just leaving this as is. I don't feel like I have to set it with a powder at all. I am going to, however, go in and add a little bit of some contour and everything because I do like to have a little more structure to my face. So I am going to use the Makeup Forever, the Pro Sculpting palette, and this one is the number 20. So I am going to focus more on using this kind of nice cool brown as my contour. And again, I'm just going to use my finger here, sweep a little right underneath the cheekbone, and then I am going to take a brush and I'm just going to blend that upward. People get really scared of cream contours. Like, they are your friend. You would be so surprised at how easy they are to work with. If you ever feel like you get too much of the contour on, you can always just blend a little more foundation in with it to soften it. I will say I did really love the Rihanna sticks for contour too. I think I used the shade Amber and absolutely loved it. I just haven't purchased it yet, so definitely look into those because they're super easy as well. I just already have so many. I didn't feel like I needed to add another to my set here. So okay, so then I'm also just blending right around the jawline. And then just a little into my hairline. I like to put a little right under the tip of my nose too, because I do have just a little bit longer nose. All right, perfect. So then I am all contoured. So the next step I'm going to do is I am going to just set my under eye. I do always do that. So I'm using the good old trusty RCMA colorless powder, and I'm just using a really small brush. And I do like to use quite a bit. I also am going to put it right on my smile lines. So I smile all the time, so I just want to keep that smile line from forming. It's going to help it just a little bit there. The next thing I'm going to do is add in the Killawatt from Fenty. So this is amazing. I love it. I have the Hustle Baby and the Hustla Baby and Mean Money, and it's got two different colors in there. I'm going to blend them together. With this highlighter, one of the things that I absolutely love about it is that it is actually a hybrid cream powder that is super, super finely milled. So you can just go in actually with fingertip application on this and it would work amazingly too. You don't have to be, super precise. It's not gonna have big chunks of glitter falling out of it. With the first ingredients with this one, it had talc, dimethicone, and then caprylic capric triglycerides, which is actually just a coconut oil. So it is gonna be just a little bit more hydrating for you, and that's probably why it gives such a beautiful finish and such a soft shine for you. All right, so awesome foundation, contour, highlight. You definitely can see that really beautiful glow on the top of my cheeks. So the very last thing I want to do is set it, and I am going to use the Hangover RX from Too Faced. With this one, it does have a coconut extract in it that is going to help just hydrate my skin. So I'm going to just take that and mist it on. This one has a real aggressive spray, so just be careful. Don't like spray super close to your face. I hold this one pretty far away, and then I'm going to use like a bazillion sprays. My favorite. So we'll just let that set a little bit, but I'm not going to use powder. I will say I have worn this foundation a ton of times. It wears all day for me. It's a beautiful finish. It photographs amazingly. It just was kind of, figuring out what those perfect steps were for me. So if you are more of an oily skin type, go for the full Fenty face. You're going to absolutely love it. If you're more dry, you're probably going to have to mix in a little bit more of a hydrating primer with it. Apply it with a sponge. That's my favorite application. It's going to give you the best finish. And then use a setting spray for sure. It just kind of helps it blend into the skin. All right, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you learned the best techniques on how to apply it, and I hope you're really excited to go and try it. Honestly, I was a little bit leery of the products, I guess, when you find out a celebrity's coming out with a cosmetics line. You never really know if it's going to be hit or miss. But Rihanna, you nailed it. The last thing I have to leave you with is just this. Like, with these products, I'm just wondering, like, where have you been all my life? Right? Anyone else think that? I mean, I basically, like, that song plays in my head every time I try it. So, awesome foundation. Definitely go and try the foundation. Definitely go and try the highlighters. Subscribe to my channel. Let me know what other things you guys want to learn about. I'd be happy to go more in depth about other products in the brand or just anything in general that you want to learn. All right, and if you guys were wondering what any of the noises were in the background while I was filming, it was Lando. Isn't he cute? He was just, eating a bone in the background, wondering what his mom was doing. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Have an awesome day. Bye.